And so they can hear you.
We're here at Autobarn Nissan in Evanston, just north of Chicago, and we're just perusing the Nissan Leaf, which is the flagship electric car for Nissan, and has been around for about 6 years now. So we're looking at a 2017 model in our showroom.
All right.
This model features a 107-mile range, also is 107 horsepower, and a lot of people are not fully aware of a lot of the inherent advantages of electric cars.
Yep.
In addition to not being dependent on gasoline or oil, one is free from having to worry about transmission fluid, air filters.
Yeah.
Pretty much annual maintenance on a car like this would be tire rotation. So in addition to freeing yourself from gas and oil, you're also going to be liberating yourself from a lot of the typical maintenance and cost of maintenance.
Okay. And so speaking of maintenance, what is obviously brakes? So those are standard, just like normal car. And then if we look at the power unit here, this is the motor right there, right?
Underneath here is the motor.
Underneath there.
Then you have the inverter on top of it.
All right. And then you have the only fluids you have is the brake fluid and the windshield, or this is a coolant. Okay, interesting. This is not a hybrid. This is fully electric, right?
Yes, this is fully electric.
Okay.
And we have a very familiar looking 12-volt accessories battery. So in spite of the fact that we have 600 pounds of batteries below the floor of the car, the accessories battery still functions very similar to the way it would in a typical internal combustion engine car. And that
awesome.
The main battery will sometimes give energy to the accessories battery. The accessories battery powers the lights, the telematic system, etc.
Looks like there are two drive shafts there, powering the front wheel. I don't know if you could zoom in on this. Can't really see it with this lighting. I'll need a camera with light on it. So it looks like there's two shafts. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
I'm not altogether familiar with that, but it is a direct drive, front wheel drive.
Okay.
And one of the other inherent advantages is the fact that there's much less in the way of moving parts on an electric car like this, whereas an internal combustion engine would have literally hundreds of moving parts. There's literally about a dozen in the drivetrain of this system.
Okay.
And it's something called a direct drive to the front wheels. We don't have a transmission.
Oh, actually, that's for the steering. So one is the driving, one is for steering wheel. Looks like a rack and pinion boot. All right. All right, makes sense. And also, this is here's your cooling. So you have typical comforts in this car. Looks like just like a regular car.
And I'll pop the charging port over there. So
sure, yeah. So we could see how it's being charged. Okay, so he pulled the lever inside the cabin, and this is the charge port up here. All right.
Now you see that the smaller one is basically for your 240 or your standard wall socket charging. You would use this one. This larger one is for direct quick charging.
Sure.
This is where you could get about 90 miles of range in about a half an hour.
So this is faster charging. This is for charging it faster, and this is for standard, or?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. And does Nissan do the similar thing as to Tesla, where their vision is to go cross country for free, without charging for electricity?
Nissan does have a promotion where somebody purchases a new car for a 2-year time frame can get free daily charging.
Okay.
And Nissan has been good about contributing to the infrastructure of building a national charging network in the United States. So,
all right. And one last question. So they're contributing to building the infrastructure to support their own cars, which is great. And awesome. Any incentives?
There's a number of very generous incentives on the Nissan Leaf, which could bring the price down substantially. The $7,500 tax credit from the federal government is still in place.
Okay.
And on a state-by-state level, there's a number of parts of the country that offer rebates. Both California and New York are very generous with that. In addition,
That's good.
Nissan does offer some very generous rebates that could actually bring the price down to about half the list, and the base price of this would be about 30.
This off.
Going into the mid 30s. So
Okay.
the incentives could bring down the cost of that by as much as half, and in some cases more than half.
Perfect. That's awesome. And then in long term, obviously this is a lot cheaper to maintain than, for example, a Nissan Versa there, and then you have some Sentras there. So long term, yeah, Elon Musk was totally spot on when he said that, sure, it costs a little bit more. This is, what's the sticker price here? 35 grand? 35, I saw.
That would be correct. The sticker price is a little bit over
with
35
destination
on this.
charges.
This is one of the mid-range SV models.
Okay, so this is basically if you want to, let me zoom in on that. If you want to have this delivered to you, it's how much the dealer charges.
But as I mentioned,
or is this to have it delivered to the dealer,
well,
and that gets passed to the consumer?
As I mentioned, a lot. There often are rebates that bring the price down substantially.
Oh, okay.
And even without the federal tax credit, it would go down significantly.
Okay. And then as far as the inside, so yeah, those numbers you can talk to finance specialists here, and then let's talk a little bit about the cabin. So obviously, standard equipment that you put on other Nissans as well. So if anything goes bad, that can be either replaced or fixed with an update. As far as software, how is software implemented in this car, and are there engineers that work actively in order to improve it over time? Let's say something works slow, you want to improve it, or you want to change out something instead of changing the entire car.
Yeah, well, very recently the older Leafs were upgraded in terms of their telematic systems to 3G. Okay. It did require a $200 fee for that to have to be implemented.
For that update to be,
and,
okay.
Some people were a little bit upset about that.
Well, if you look at this here, and yeah, but let's not talk about money right now, because we're more about just going into the technology itself. And all right, awesome. Well, thanks so much, and thank you for watching this. Feel free to subscribe and like and comment if you have any questions, or what kind of cars you'd like to see next. I'll totally be willing to do them. And yeah, thanks for watching. Have an awesome day. Take care.